Hey, welcome back to Two Super Guys Trade Stocks. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Vinny, and we're gonna do something that, I don't know. I just figured we'd throw it at the wall. We're gonna talk about what we made on YouTube this past year. Dylan and I started this channel in February of last year. We got monetized in June. We're gonna talk about how much money we've made. Are we rolling in that giant YouTuber financial cash pile, or are we just barely covering enough money for lights?
Yeah, wonder what it is. I feel like this kind of entertaining stock market content. We're just two super guys trying to figure everything out. Go like and subscribe, and we'll get started.
Two stupid guys trade stocks.
Before you hop on here, we do really want to say thank you for everyone who's been watching all that stuff. We are not the hype people. Like we don't put in like 20x opportunity in the thing, and then it's like some penny stock that's trash. We're trying to be as honest, and we honestly just film conversations that we have anyways. That's the whole point of this. So.
Yeah, exactly. This is designed to be a financial channel for average people just trying to figure it out for themselves, and not people that are looking for hype and positive confirmation, or people looking for doomsaying and negative news sentiment. That's we're trying to be somewhere in the middle. But yeah, basically we're going to talk about what our earnings were. This is what an average month looks like for us. Now, if you guys get into YouTube financial channel income and that sort of stuff at all, you look at this RPM and this CPM rate. These represent how monetizable your content is in terms of what you can make from it's per mil. That's what the PM are on both of those. That's per 1,000 views. So if you look at a CPM of 1640, that's significantly higher than some vlogging type channels, that sort of stuff. Financial niche tends to be pretty well. So we're somewhere in the middle. It's better than a gaming channel. Car channels, I think, are somewhere in this ballpark. But some of the more successful financial channels are getting as high as I think Jake Bro at one point had a $40 CPM or something like that. So he was getting an RPM around 20. Yeah, so RPM is actually what our cut is after YouTube takes theirs, because YouTube gets I think it's 45% or 55%. I can't remember which way the split goes, but it's almost 50-50. So that's around $80.
That's retirement worthy right there. We just made $80, bro. Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, you know what, though? If you throw this into one of those compounding calculators and put it into a Roth IRA, it can turn into some real money sometime, which is why we got to talk about what we should do with the channel money at some point.
Yes. Right now it's sitting in a bank account and paying $15 a month of that $80 that we made for the bank account.
Yeah, perfect. That's a solid business plan. You can tell we're really focused on making as much money from this channel as we can. But it is still very interesting from a standpoint of how this exactly works. But 240,000 views. Did you ever think that someone would actually care enough to listen to what us two idiots had to say about 240,000 times the last year?
No, I did not think this was a good idea, if you remember.
Yeah, people spent 20,000 hours watching us. Man, that's insane.
It's
so
mostly
humbling.
my mom. On 100 accounts.
Yeah. How do you do that heart thing? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think
Dylan's
she's ever
mom.
seen a video, actually.
And almost to the 3,200 subscribers, but right here is kind of the big number if you're looking for. We made almost $1,400 in the last year or so being monetized on YouTube. If you look at the graph here, there's some big spikes. These are some of our more successful videos, but unfortunately, just our content style, we haven't been able to maintain that. If you watch some of the bigger channels talk about their growth pattern, they get these big spikes and then they find a new plateau. That doesn't really happen to us. We kind of revert back to this baseline constantly.
Yeah, we'll have one video with 3,000 views. It's yeah, the next video, 100.
Yep,
Let's go.
I know, right? It is what it is. But this kind of dives into the full channel history growth as far as RPM and then CPM rate. And this is the actual income per day. As you can see here, when you actually have a successful day, or if you're able to put together a string of these things, you can make some significant money. These two spikes here being over $40 in a day, which is pretty crazy, right? If you're making $40-$50 a day times 30 days a month, it's what, $1,500, somewhere in that ballpark. That's some money. That's almost like a mortgage payment, depending on what part of the country you live in, or whether or not you bought before this whole crazy housing market.
Oh shoot!
Yeah. So this is a monthly chart, which was kind of funny. I'm not the best graph person. I wanted to overlay this with an SPY graph, because you can kind of see there was a correlation of a peak and then a slow downtrend, which is what SPY has done. I wonder how much correlation there is between YouTube monetization income for stock channels and like the stock market as a whole?
I'm gonna say it's pretty close. People in bull markets are like, yeah, stocks. And so everyone's watching more videos. They're like, oh, is my company going to go up? Is this a good trade? And then in bear markets, not so much. I will say one really interesting thing to me is sometimes we'll do videos on just like Burry tweet. He's a fascinating guy. So to be fair, it's pretty interesting. But it doesn't take like a lot of work. And then we'll do videos on like, for instance, like my TLT trade, like entries and exits, and I'll make like $2,000 off that trade, and it'll have like 200 views. Or like shorting Nikola has been floating my portfolio, and I'll do like pretty decent analysis of when to enter, when to leave, that kind of stuff. Nothing.
Yeah, definitely. The rewards don't exactly align with the efforts put in place, because there are videos we spend a couple of hours putting together, and it may not get much attention at all, and it just. But then when it takes 15 minutes, can go absolutely parabolic for us, at least.
Yeah,
it's just very fascinating how that works, and unfortunately we also try not to feed into that hype cycle of things that are very clickable aren't always like good, really things for people to be paying attention to.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Or crucial to actually our investing journey. So it's something we try not to give like a whole ton of attention to. But yeah, and then we looked at the actual videos here that are like our top earners. Basically Alibaba, we almost earned a share of Alibaba just by doing these two Alibaba videos here. Michael Burry. Also, the Teletalk video actually surprisingly did well. For those of you not new to this channel or never been around before, both Dylan and I work in medicine, so I think maybe that was a little bit of our take on it. It was a hype stock. We worked in medicine, and we kind of had like a mixed reaction to the stock. I think that might have been part of it. And it was like a longer video too, so it also helps. And on Jay Powell, good old Jerome Powell, taking the market, taking out portfolios.
My man. A good example of what I said of the videos, like we have a video coming out on Ford, believe it or not, and how it's, in my opinion, going to be my next big trade. I have just shorted TLT, it went great. I just added again, shorted Nikola, it went pretty solid. I have some stupid trades. Luckily, I did not do videos on them. Cool. They're in the portfolio thing update, but like no one's going to watch the Ford video. It's not catchy. It's Ford. It's going to make money, but it's not catchy.
Yeah, I actually had a recent comment about it too, asking about Ford and the debt. I didn't get a chance to look at it though yet. I guess they have like $130 billion in debt per this comment. I don't know. Kind of scary. We'll talk about that in the Ford video. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to throw this out there and see what anyone kind of thought as far as this goes. And then, it's still humbling that people actually listen to us, and we've earned enough to buy 10 shares of Apple, as I said to Dylan, which is pretty cool. Question is, would we buy 10 shares of Apple with that, or would we wait for Google split to go through?
Gonna buy Ford. All right, guys.
All right, catch you in the next one.
Have a good one, guys.